Dance here, 2023 style. I have with me Angela Tabora and Erin Lim from Bitch Talk. My name is John Wildman. I'm the editor-in-chief of filmsgonewild.com. And on this segment, we're going to talk about the film Mascot, screening at SLAMDANCE. We have the director, Remy van Heugten. Remy, welcome to the show.
Hi, nice to be here.
Okay, Remy, we always start this off by giving our filmmaker the first shot to tell us about the film. The audience hasn't seen it yet, so tell us about Mascot.
Mascot is kind of very personal movie, and it's about the stability of a family being totally disrupted by the teenager son's drift towards extremism.
Yes, it is.
That's one way to put it, Remy.
Yeah.
But you know, as a filmmaker, your goal is to have the audience feel something, whatever it is. And I felt a lot, and I felt a lot of uncomfort throughout this film. And I wanted to, like, each scene seemed to one up the prior scene, and I never knew where it was going to go. So I'd like to hear how you juggle this intensity when you're directing characters that are going through so much without having them go too over the top, still making it be relatable, because unfortunately some of it was relatable.
I think as long we always wanted to stay very, very close to the character, to Jeremy. I always felt this is a story about sorry, I just have to translate.
Oh, it's fine. Take your time. No problem.
Desire, like this is a boy that's growing up, and he has all these desires that remain unfulfilled, and I think he's very confused of all the forces that work on him, especially from home, his mother, and actually the world he's growing up into, which is present day Netherlands. And I worry a bit about young people, I have to say. I don't envy them at the moment.
Right.
So it was kind of a character study of one guy taking all strange, or I could say bad exits, but he's just taking all wrong turns on his life.
I wanted to know.
I'm getting flashes of scenes
Yeah.
now. Like, that was it.
The actor that plays Jeremy and also the actor that plays the sister of Jeremy, what were you looking for in the actors in terms of personalities or maybe even mental health in order to play these characters?
I always look for actors that feel very connected, like really, like personally connected to parts. I think for the sister, she's doing she's into the furry world in reality.
Oh.
And so she knew what she's looking for in that world, and so she could relate very well to that. She's very young when we're shooting, 13, but very grown up, I'd say. Same for Jerry. Liam is it's difficult for a young guy to understand all the mental stuff Jerry is going through. So I look in all kinds of ways, but in the end we found him in a boxing school. So normally I'm not, I think you always have to find the best actor. But in this part, he really needed to fight. We needed that, inner violence in the actor, and I think it's in. He's a very nice guy, but it's also there, and it was about creating trust to unleash that in a way, and because he's boxing, he looks to people like it's his opponent, so he knows what's happening, and he like great actors, he feeds off the other one, and that's I think he did great.
I think the film really follows a long line of really great, intense dramas that come out of Europe, and we've had other films that have dealt with the hooliganism, and but you and I have talked about this and about the idea that even though other films have dealt with this, and of course your inspiration for making this film came from a very real place and concern of, like in this country, Proud Boys and incels, and and what you have across the pond, as they say. But, and again, full disclosure, I've been working on helping you with the PR for this film, so I'm obviously a big fan of it. But we have talked about the rarity that I see in the film is that while it's very intense as we follow his journey and we see those terrible turns that he takes, what we don't often see is what has inspired that. And in this case, the confusion over his relationship with his mother, and you and I have had talks about this, and so I would love to have you talk about that I think really fleshes out the movie and makes a fuller picture, and not just a violent thing that's adrenaline fueled.
Well, as I said, we kind of created a world he lives in, confusing worlds of social media, violence, political ideas that is quickly changing at the moment, and then the main parenting. It's a study on a dysfunctional family. I think him losing the confidence because of his deformation. He starts searching for trust, and his mother on one hand gives him a lot of trust and love, like any mother, and that's great, but also there's not a real,
boundary. There's not a
no,
boundary.
there's not. It's not for her.
Yeah, that's one way.
Well, and then there's the father's part, but we leave it a lot open for the imagination. But there's this, he left, and I feel Jerry feels responsible for him leaving. But yeah. This is a story about caring. I was giving a few interviews and I found out actually that's a theme in all my work. People caring, and I did a father-son story. Now it's a mother-son story, and they're all trying to take care of each other, but taking it very literally sometimes. Being becoming the patriarch of the family. That's something I'm very worried of. Like we're almost going back in time, looking at a lot of political ideas. So yeah, it's a mix of this home situation and the attention of parents for the children. Where do they go? As a parent myself, I'm always like, you never know. You can never do it right. But this is another study. This is very dysfunctional, and then there's the society.
Yeah, I think what was also interesting in my emotional roller coaster with this film was I was like, it's so intense, and I was like, but this happens all the time. I mean, you can reference, this is coming from the Netherlands, but as John said, in the States we can relate to a lot of the things that the kids are going through and that we're dealing with as a society. So I was interested in hearing how you came up with the title MASCOT and what that means to you, because there could be a literal interpretation of it, but it seems like so much more.
Yes, I don't know, but the title when we came up with it, he was the mascot. It's kind of my biggest fear. Jerry is a white boy becoming my fear, and so he becomes like a talisman of a society. So he's kind of a cynical mascot. With all his, his black clothes on and his perfect, his Nikes and his, all the branding and yes.
All right. The last question I had that I wanted to give this moment an opportunity to talk is that because again knowing the inspiration for why you made the film and knowing how passionate you are about your fear of what you see out there. Do you now see, you know, because you know, we're here at SLAMDANCE. It's also going to be at Rotterdam, in a matter of weeks. I mean, it's going to be there very, very soon. You know, so you're starting a film festival tour with this, and the film is going to get out there. Do you embrace the opportunity, just like we're doing now, to talk about this and talk about your concerns, and to utilize the film as an entry point to have that discussion, or, you know, are you, you know, in the moment going, I made the film, can I just be the filmmaker?
Oh no, that's not how it works for me. For me, the reason of making movies is to start a topic, to talk and to connect, and I think that's the worry in the movie. People lose connection, and then bad things happen. So yeah, I mean, it's great to I feel people go through this experience, and yeah, I would love to talk about, you know, there's so many things coming up. There's a lot in the movie, and I don't have, you know, the perfect solution or anything, but it's too big for that. But it's yeah.
Well, again, the title of the film is MASCOT. It's screening at SLAMDANCE. It is a devastating film to watch. Congratulations on that. We've been talking to Remy van Heugten. It's been great having you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Whew. Yeah.
All right.
What that actor Jerry? Wow.
Yeah.
What a performance.
Yep.
All right, we're going to do a photo over here.
Haunting.
Yeah, it's and actually thanks to the actress too, who plays
Oh,
mother.
and yes,
wow.
you're
She,
right. We should have.
She really took him. you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Next level.
For her, it's more difficult because she doesn't get that much of him. So
Right, yeah.
And I cannot believe the sister was
Yes.
13.
she was when we were shooting. Yeah.
Oh.
She
I
seemed
know.
older.
That like
mature.
McDonald's scene or
Yeah.
whatever. Oh, that was
I know.
All
Yeah.
of it.
all of it. But yeah, all of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.